Hello everyone, this is day number 10. Time for blood growth, one of the most dangerous areas in Grimdown, especially when you run some sort of challenge. My experience bar, quick recap, level 57, timer, a little bit more than 9 hours and a half, average item level 38, not ideal, but can be worse. Without much further ado, let's jump in. Or frost ointment, always nice to have if you have problem with the freeze resistance on a certain areas.
See anything you like?
Grab these quests. I plan full clear on blood growth, sorry, because nice quests. Harbingers are a big problem. They cast spectral miasma debuff. This is a high resistance shred debuff. We sustain energy very well at this point, which is a good news. Good about Kaiman's Chosen and why I picked them is because I don't have to visit their hideout, so this saves a lot of time on the clock. Their quest line is out to trigger, apart from the last quests. Sometimes her off hunt is useful. This time is garbage. Bolver is the biggest problem here, so I have to watch out for him. I don't want to charge too hard and suddenly found him. Not a very good map for a channeling build, especially this type of Albrecht Aether Ray, because terrain blocks all of my attempts, which kinda sucks. This is very easy quest, but very rewardable in terms of experience. You have to deal just with one boss. My offensive ability is low. I even miss. Which means I have to push this a little bit. Let's see how low it is. Yeah, it's dangerously low. This is against bosses I have 20% chance to miss. This is a huge DPS loss. I don't have much devotion points to play, so probably I have to get a one attack suffix somewhere in the gear. Here is Bower. Damage is too high. He probably spawned with some crazy weapons. Very bad, very bad. That was maybe 10% life moment. I hate this guy. I'm glad I managed to kill him. Okay, finish all the objectives here, which is good. I can move on my happy merry way. This is the hard part probably for today. Maybe Karos, Talnosh, sorry, might possess some threat, not sure. Definitely I'm much scared by Bower. Here, time to check for a better medal. I'm kinda broke. Yeah, his weapons, especially the left one, is brutal. Void Touch of the Cabal is a lot of offensive ability. No wonder he hits so hard. Terrible medal. 50,000. I'm gonna do a few tries. I think I have some time left after I clear Blood Grove so quick.
I'll give you a good price for what I've got left.
I have to port somewhere outside of... Ideally I want offensive ability. Mighty of attack is not bad. I lose Pierce. But it's a very high roll on offensive ability. Definitely a good swap.
Iron well spent.
Don't have choice.
Ah, I cannot.
I don't want to change the difficulty right now, so I'm gonna do the first quest here.
So, go.
Because I run out of movement runes, which actually reminds me, maybe I have, yeah, I can craft a better one.
More scrap metal.
Do I have RAM? Nope, that's very bad. Yeah, this is very expensive, just
The emissary war.
this guy is very dangerous, by the way. All the Forgotten God heroes, they are very stacked. You can see the amount of reflection I take there. When you deal with reflect mobs, it's good to wait for their spikes falls off. Much easier to deal with them.
could hear them. You select.
Actually, I can skip the quests. I'm already friendly with these guys.
I've got left. Put it to good use.
It's good chunk of experience, so no big deal. Good thing about pierce resistance, very few mobs share pierce, shred pierce resistance, so even 3% overcap is fine. Bloody Jack is one of the most dangerous ones, if you ever met him. I'm pretty stuck to the resistances, so I can use a different component maybe. Gonna keep the Wardstone, but I do believe I have Aether Soul somewhere. Yep, this is a good component. Give me less damage from Ethereal Corruptions. Ideally I want to swap the Wardstone and the Amulet as well, but I'm gonna drop a lot of resistances and I don't want to. So I think I partially solved the offensive ability problem. Another Rital. As you can see, spikes are not there, so I don't take any reflective damage, but another very important thing, when you attack a reflective mob, always you redirect to yourself partially your resistance shred, the flat resistance shred source. So for example, I have, you see the storm, elemental storm, and just 4 of this, partially of this number, in this case 4, is redirect back to me. But thankfully I have serious overcaps on elemental, so this not affect me. But some builds, like physical builds, it's very dangerous, because usually, as you can see, I run just 15%. But some builds are 0 in this department, and when they redirect physical, they drop below the threshold and they basically obliterate themselves. So keep that in mind. That's why I said I'm considered the most controversial hardcore player in the community, because I don't play my builds full decked out on defense. I just play smart and play the game the way that's supposed to be played. Knowing your enemy is half of the game, you don't have to overstack turtle, goo and other bullshits like this. As I said in one of the episodes, I'll rather lose the character but have a lot of fun with it than play something that's practically immortal and deals 0 damage. That's why I don't play Albrecht Aether builds. This terrain bullshit is so frustrating. This kills all of my damage that some stairs or something like this block the... I know the map is interactive and supposed to be like that, but it's a little bit annoying. Zarya, she cast Curse of Frailty. Quick check. This is a very bad moment. I'm like 20% drop on vitality, so I have to kite. Definitely I don't want to get zapped by the crystals, so I'm gonna kite the curse again. This is vitality damage. This is again cursed. Easy fight. I mean, Grim Down is generally easy game if you can kite. Obviously I can't kite fully with channeling build, but still it's when you're faster than the mobs. This guy slaps. Honestly, I have more problem with these guys than Zarya. They're quite fast. And 3 different elements. Still issues with the damage. This is the miasma debuff. Very nasty. At level 100 this can drop up to 30-32% on some of some resistances, especially vitality. Of course curse is not that strong now because mob is just 60 level, but trust me, in Shattered Realm this guy slaps really hard. I have some points to spend. I really want to finish this, or maybe at least take the resistances and move on. Here is elemental. This is much needed life as well. Crowd control resistance also nice. Huge dilemma. I'll take the life for now. Think should be better. Especially a big boss fights coming. I have serious overcaps on Elemental. I have to start to work on that and get rid of some stuff. Actually, I can use one more. I'm gonna leave this slot open. This is 18 less elemental. I can finally craft black tallow for the medal from the amulet, sorry. So I can take less damage from tonics. That's very bad, I don't have the blueprint. And I'm pretty sure this is sold by Caimans.
I'll give you a good price for what I've got left. See you around. I do the best I can with what I've got.
Should be 3 rift zones. Okay.
Need something broken down?
Okay, huge upgrade. I have now less damage from tonics, less damage from materials. This is 2 of the most common enemies. Also, tonics hits really hard, so I don't want to disrespect them. Forsaken, no chance I can gonna click that. Beautiful pants, by the way. Unfortunately, no life. And mine gives a lot of life. Otherwise, everything else is kinda waste. Apart from the physique. But the resistances are already really overcapped. But that's good because I prepare for a next difficulty soon. My target for elite is maximum 14 hours. I don't want to spend more here. In Grim Downs, small hits are equally dangerous because being at the middle and being hit by 20-30 enemies is not good. Even if you are stuck on defenses, you can be surprised how much damage can numbers do to you. He applies Curse of Frailty as well. This is a big problem. Because Curse of Frailty plus Doombolt is a lot of damage. I think he doesn't apply this in his second form. I'm gonna proc my Dryad for a little bit more sustain. He hits really hard, by the way, in melee range, and this deals a lot of damage as well. His crystals are the third hardest one in terms of damage. First one is Zarya, second is Naran. This is also some stuff that you want to avoid. But the pools, they are the bigger problem. You want to avoid the smoke. Especially the glowing one. Okay, halfway there. Usually pattern is very easy. Very slow battle. Just my damage is not there. And also I didn't buy any tinctures, which is my mistake. I have to be sure I'm not gonna repeat that. This was annoyingly slow. Quick recap. I am curious the time for the timer. 35 minutes. I would say pretty good time.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Terrible row. Every epic item goes. Honestly, Impervious of the Wild is a really good combo. But the base is very bad, is a pet base. I'm gonna keep it, honestly, it's not bettering. 9% health. I'm curious if I lose a lot of health. Only 40. Some energy. But a lot of poison overcap, which is not ideal. Definitely a potential swap if I fix my resistance problems. Two equal belts. I'm gonna keep it. This one have 8% more elemental resistance. Oh, finally a good helm. I don't want to lose the stun duration. I think I'm gonna lose the armor absorption. But that's a pretty good helm, not gonna lie. Yeah, I drop like a lot. Stun resistance. And on this challenge this is not ideal. It's very hard to replace such a helm. I know it's on a shit white base, but Overseer protection is a really good role in terms of defensives. I know I'm against this stuff in my guides, but in this challenge this is really good.
I am told I could when the Legion was forced to abandon the capital. I've already.
Okay, this is a merit that I want. I don't know if I have the money. 88, pretty expensive. Okay, get rid of Milton Cask. I don't need this anymore, but still not quite there.
See you around. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Chaos resistance.
Iron well spent.
You're here. But the
May the light.
see anything you like? Iron well spent.
Fort Haran is not a bad place. There is a 2 guaranteed dynamites here. Also a lot of chests, so I can catch up a little bit on the money. You want distance? Aravok usually shotguns. Being hit by one projectile is fine, but being hit from all three, it's a lot of damage. Also revenants, they slaps. I prefer to dodge their attacks. He's gonna summon them occasionally because my damage is just not there. Oops, wrong crypt.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. See you around.
I'm gonna take this quest just in case. That's why I hate the Harbingers. This debuff is just too nasty. This is too resistant. At this point I just waste my time dealing with these big guys. More heroes. Corrupted is very bad. They spawn these pools, especially when they die as well, and this shit stacks. And a lot of builds that rely on life leech, they die immediately after they kill the target. Shieldred is a guaranteed hero. You spawn locations here. He's named hero, so he's much tankier than the regular ones. He's here. This guy is a charger, so he's gonna run next to you and just use a big slam. As you can see, thankfully I run some good chunk of physical resistance, so it's not Forsaken. This is not ideal with my entrapment resistance being 0. That means trolls, and trolls hits really hard, and if I can't move or dodge, I'm pretty much done. Really good roll. I'm gonna lose good chunk of physical resistance, but this is a really good roll. Impervious of the Eagle is a dream. This is resistances, stats, all useful stuff for this challenge. But this physical resistance is a good chunk of my sustain. As you can see, this guy slaps. At this point, game is gonna become harder and harder, and for me very hard to survive. Especially this map comes with a lot of faster enemies that I have zero advantage against. This is Forsaken. This is a skull boss that I have zero interest to deal with. I waste enough time. I prefer to stick to the objectives at this point.
want scrap metal?
Level 60. I think I waste way too much time killing stuff. It's time to speed up the objectives. Okay, think I secured the rift just in time.
Good. It's very precise.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Mage Storm. Boar. Actually, this is all I need, stats wise. But I lose too much life, yeah, not ideal. Mystic of Psych. Again, too much life loss. Honestly, this armor can be replaced just by the elite version. It's just too good. I don't think I can find something that can give so much life offensive ability. It's very hard to roll. I lose casting speed, so I directly lose damage. But of the ego is pretty good prefix. Too much damage loss, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna keep it. If I need to use some on swap equip shenanigans. Always nice to have piece of equipment with some stats, so you can easily swap gear. For example, see this one, if it gives some sort of physique, I can equip it and just unequip this, but because don't give any physique, I can't do this type of swap. But usually is a option if you are short on points.
Iron well spent.
Okay, I don't like this number. I think it's a very, very bad sign to have this on my life bar. Very dramatic, but this is my experience bar. At the end of the episode, I don't make a lot of changes. I push the item level to 39, which is terrible. But I managed to kill. I don't know why he's counted as the strongest enemy. I think the fight with Taunosh was much harder. Exactly 1 hour from the full blood growth clear up to Fort Alcon. Honestly, I waste maybe 15 minutes, maybe 10, killing stuff that I don't have to kill, basically. But it is what it is. Still, I have like 3 hours and a half for elite, which is my 14 hours is my target. I don't want to spend more here. I want to leave 10 hours for elite, for ultimate, just in case if it's too slow to get experience and hit 100. Because the challenge ends when I hit 100 and reach Vanguard, so I can... Actually, I have to kill Krieg as well. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the community, for the support, and for special thanks to all the people that comment under the topic and that enjoy the book that I'm writing. I try to keep it nice and fresh, also funny in some regard, so it's more interesting to read. Thanks again and see you in the next one.